guys, it's Lorian again. I'm here really quick. I have to head somewhere, that's why I'm all dressed up. I'm wearing a dress and everything. But I really quick wanted to do this quick video. It was created by Pullin' Banana Books, and I will link her video down below, and it's crying books. Books that make you cry. And she had only about 8. I have 10, because I'm a crybaby. Alright, so let's get right into it. This goes from books that made me tear up to books where I sobbed and I kept crying for like days. So that's why there's holes in my bookshelf. I don't know if you can see. So number 10 is the first book that ever made me cry, which is Daughter of the Forest. Sorsha, spoiler alert, Sorsha gets raped. And I teared up. And the way it's written and how beautiful this book is, I teared up at least once. I think a couple other times too. But I had to put it in. Now, number 9, the rest of these were difficult and I rearranged the order a lot, but number 9 is definitely Fullmetal Alchemist. OMG. I cried so much during this series. First of all, there's this. Then there's these parts. Hughes and Nina. If you did not tear up or choke up or feel anything when Nina died, you have no heart. Oh my gosh, that's sad. Oh my goodness. Number 8 is Rurouni Kenshin. This is spoiler alert in case you're reading this or you want to read this, but he killed his wife on accident. And then Kaoru dies. And he finds her and he gives up the will to live for the second time in his life, and it's heartbreaking. Oh my gosh, I cried. I totally cried. Number 7, oh no, that was 7. Number 6 is Anne Bishop's The Black Jewels. In particular, this book. In particular, Lucifer being sent to the mines, and Damon's reaction, and why he was sent, and that whole point, I just... steady tear. Yep. Number 5 is a bit different. And it's Chrono Crusade. I cry a lot during manga, can you tell? But Chrono Crusade, I read this online originally, and at the last chapter, they didn't have the epilogue. So I read that last chapter, and if you haven't read it, you should. Because, oh my gosh, my heart was ripped out. And don't read the epilogue and just sit on that last chapter. And for 3 months, that was me. And I just sobbed. I was so mad. And I'm like, no, you can't do this. You can't. Oh my gosh. What happens to her is heartbreaking and all. But she needs Chrono. Oh my gosh. It was just such a mess. I was such a mess. Number 5. I have this right, don't I? Yeah, number 5 is Where the Red Fern Grows by Wilson Rawls. I don't own this for a very good reason. Oh my gosh, I don't own this because if you haven't read this, you really should. It's a classic. I had to read it in elementary school, and I was like, the dog is dying. Oh my gosh, this is so heartbreaking. Ah, it was a mess. I was a mess. I was a mess as an 11-year-old. Then, number 4, these were all really tight, is Fruits Basket. This is a comedy, followed by drama. Quick story about Fruits Basket. This is Toru. She is so abused, she'd rather live in the woods in a tent than live at home with her family. And she meets these classmates of hers, finds out she's actually living on their land and didn't know it. And she finds out that they are possessed by the Chinese zodiac. And if a member of the opposite sex touches them, then they become, they turn into the animal that's possessing them. And it's hilarious, and it seems really funny. And then you learn more about the family, the Soma family, that has it, and its twisted, dark secrets, and how horrible it is, and how sad it is, and why Yuki is so serious all the time and hates being at home, and why Hyo is so angry all the time, and all the darkness, and oh my gosh, and about the emperor, or the god, as they call it in the manga. I always heard emperor. And what Akita, who's the emperor, really is like, and how abusive he is, and there's a 6-year-old girl who's beaten into the hospital, and that little girl with broken bones in her face and her eyes swollen shut, looking up, crying, going, what did I do wrong? I want to cry every time I think about it. It's just so heartbreaking. Alright, number 3 is Love Letter by Seo Koji, I think is how you say his name, or her name. This is the saddest manga I have ever read. It is a tragedy, and it's not fictional. It takes place in World War II in Japan, and it starts just before Japan attacks Pearl Harbor. And these two characters, who were real people, were at university together, and they fall in love, and then he has to enter the military, and he's put in the Air Force. You're assigned in Japan, or at least they were. You didn't get to choose anything, and he's assigned to be a kamikaze. Wow. This story, I didn't know until after reading it that it was actually real, which made me cry even harder. It's just, she didn't want anything to do with the war. She didn't think Japan should have done the war. But, oh my gosh, I just bawled when she walks through the firebombed part of Tokyo, and then, of course, he dies. It's just, oh, it's so short. It's 100 pages. And 2 chapters. Itsy bitsy teensy weensy. It's not even the size of one of these volumes. It's so small, and it is just so powerful. I recommend everyone to read this, to see the other side of the war. It's just beautifully done. Oh my goodness, so sad. And I don't own it. I read it online. I don't even think you can get it in English. Not sure I want to. I don't want to own the other 2 either. Oh my gosh, in case you can't tell, it's going to be chopping a bit because my camera keeps turning off. But I was talking about my number 2. This beat out Love Letter because of the intensity of when I cried. I didn't cry the whole time like Love Letter. There's only one scene that brought me to tears, although there's many, many sad scenes in this. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. If you haven't read this, then this is a spoiler, but Harry dies. And I knew there was like that much book left. That's like a huge chunk of book. And yet I was like in tears, and I couldn't stop crying. And I eventually went to my mom, because I was like 18 or 19. I think I was 18. No, I was 17 or 16. And I just was like, Mom, Harry dies! And oh my gosh, I know it's so stupid, but I can't stop crying. Oh my gosh, I'm so sad. Oh my goodness. I literally cried for like 30 minutes. And my mom was like, it's just a book. It's okay though. She was really nice about it, but she laughed at me, and I laugh at myself ever since. But yeah, this is my number 2. Dumbledore's death didn't affect me, except I just laid in bed for like 3 hours staring at the ceiling, and it was already 3 in the morning going like, what the heck? Dumbledore's dead, and then Harry died, and I'm like, I was starting to think Harry would die. I knew, of course, everyone at the time knew one of the big 3 was gonna die, and it was Harry. Oh my goodness. Number 1, absolutely number 1, is there's no debate. There is no choice. And I know everyone's gonna think I'm an idiot, but seriously, I don't know about you. I don't know how your high school years were, but mine weren't all that fun. They were difficult, they were rough, they were depressing, and it was a lot of years of people I knew in a lot of pain. Most of my friends were abused, and most of them had crushes on guys, and that was one of their escapes. Now, if you don't know anything about teenage love, one of the things that you definitely need to know is that 1 in 3 girls are abused, and they stay with that guy for a while because they get so wrapped up. It's ridiculous. So, whatever you say, there is scientific backing for it. Does that mean it's not stupid? No. But as I haven't talked about it yet, but one of the things about Stephenie Meyer is the writing. I love the Twilight series, not for the plot or the characters, for the writing. This is beautifully written, and camera cut out on me again. But this, I did not resurface. I can't turn pages. I remember my friends being suicidal because of boys. I remember my friends cutting themselves and self-mutilation and being locked up for 2 weeks at a psychiatric ward. And I've myself battled depression since 3rd grade or so, and I know what it's like to be suicidal. I've been battling suicidal thoughts since middle school, and until recently, actually I still sometimes deal with it. I know what that felt like, and I could connect, and I understood. And thinking about this book, because even though Eclipse, I don't think you can see it, Eclipse, right there, came out a while ago, or had already been out by the time I picked this up. I couldn't get my hands on it very easily for a long time. It took a while. It was just before Breaking Dawn came out that I finally got a hold of Eclipse. So I had a long time to think about this book, and I just cried and cried and cried and cried. And oh my gosh, I cried. And I just couldn't stop. And I could connect with it. I understood it. Although I've never been that suicidal for a boy, I definitely would have, if I'd been that wrapped up, I would have moved. Unlike her, but I got it, and it affected me, and it's beautifully done in the simple way that it's not written at all. And I understood that. I understood having an empty day, and an empty life, and an empty month, and thinking there's no reason to exist, and nothing to note. So yeah, New Moon. So, that was my books that made me cry, or crying books, I think is what Pullin' Banana Books did. Lots and lots of shooting, and it's been like an hour of me trying to do this video. But yeah, so that's all my books. Let's see if I can stack them in order as I drop Deathly Hallows. See if I can do this. I don't know if I can. I'll just do number 2 for FMA. Don't fall, don't fall. Yay! That's all the books that I've done. So yeah, that was the books that made me cry. That's all of them that I own. So, please give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, what books have made you bawl, and I want LA Knight to do it. Do it, Raven. Do it! And anyone else who wants to, please do it. And Witty Novels did this, and that's the reason why I did it. So, thanks for watching. Bye!